Hello guys, so I welcome you into this lecture 1 of section 7, which is structures and memory allocation in C++. Okay, now in this lecture we will deal with, we'll get familiar with the structures, how they work, okay, structures and how they work, okay, how they work, or we can say for which purpose they are used. Okay, now let's, and then we'll go through this memory allocation thing. Okay, how the memory is allocated to to the objects of this struct. Okay, so let's say, okay, so the purpose of structures is to create user defined data types. Okay, user defined data types. So what do we mean by this user defined data types? So we already knew some of the data types, right? I've already told you about the data types. Okay, so these data types that I've taught you already are predefined data types. These are predefined. Okay, so their definition is already defined in C++. What are these predefined data types? So integer, which is denoted by int; character, which is denoted by char; okay, string, which is denoted by string itself; okay, then boolean; okay, then float; then we have long, we have double, then we have long. Okay, you can read about all these data types that I haven't taught you. It's just that they are differing in the range. Okay, so int is used to store small integer values. Long is used to store large integer values. Okay, of 64 bit, 64 bit representation type. Okay, so yeah, so similarly double is used to store large decimal values. Okay, up to like 6 decimal places or 7 decimal places up to. Okay, so yeah, these are some data types that are predefined in C++. Sort int is also there. Okay, so these data types are predefined in C++, and their definition is also already defined. Okay, now let's say we want to store a particular date. Okay, let's say we want to store a date. Okay, can we use any particular data type to store the date? So date has three things. It has a day, it has uh, a month, okay, and it has a year. Okay, year. So day can have, day, the value of day will be an integer value, right? There are 30 or 31 or 29 days in some months, right? So yeah, this will be an integer. Month can be both the integer or this string. Okay, there are 12 months, so we can either denote them with number 1 2 3, where 1 represents January, 2 represents February, 3 represents March. Okay, or either we can denote it with string. Okay, if we take month as string, we'll have to write the name of the month. So January. Okay, then for month, uh, second month, we have to write February. Okay, February. And then for month 3 we'll have to write March, this way, right? And year is again an integer. Okay, 2025, 2026. Okay, 1999. Okay, so these are also integer. Okay, so this have a type int. Okay, this can have both integer as well as string type. Okay, so now this kind of data cannot be represented by any of the predefined data types. So we have to create our own data type to store this date. Okay, to store the date we have to create our own data type. So these data types are called, these data types are defined using structures. Now let me take you to the next page. Okay, how to use the structures now. Okay, so the syntax of structure looks something like this. Okay, so we'll write struct, then we'll write the data type that we want to create, the name of the data. Let's say we want to create date. Okay, and the cases, you have to remember the cases. Okay, this is case sensitive. Okay, if you want to create an object, the cases of the structure should be same. Okay, now inside this we'll end it with semicolon. Okay, within this, okay, let me erase this till until the program, until the structure ends. So within this we'll give it the properties that it has. Okay, so a date has three things, right? A date has, we already discussed this. So it has day, it has month, and it has year. Okay, year is integer type, day is integer type, but month can have both integer as well as string as its type. Okay, so let's say we, okay, day will be integer, so int day, okay. uh, Year will be integer, so int year, okay. Now let's take, in the first example, let's take the month also as integer only, okay, so int month, okay. And then we end the structure, okay. Okay, we can do many more things inside the structure, but till now let's just talk about a simple structure. So this is how we created our user defined data type. Okay, now what happens is when we create an object of this structure, this user defined data type, how do we create the object? To create the object, the syntax is this way. Okay, so the syntax to create the object of this class, sorry, this user defined data type, we write the name of the user defined data type, and then we can give the object name. Okay, here we give the object name, okay, and then we give a semicolon. So now example would be date. This is example, okay. Example would be date, and then let's say d1, I give it date, okay. So d1, okay, and then semicolon, okay. Now if you want to, like, if you want to uh, you know give it the values, we, for that purpose, we are going to use dot operator, okay. You have to simply remember this, okay. Dot operator to assign the values. So if you want to assign value to day, we'll write d1, the name of the object, dot day, okay, equals to, we have at most 31 days, right, in a month, but we have to remember which month it is going on. Let's say I take January, so 12 will exist as a day, right? So I give it a value 12, okay. Let's say d1 dot month, let's say I give it a month 1, okay, January, and let's say I give it the year as 2025, okay. So d1 dot year equals to 2025, okay. Yeah, so now if I try to print anything, d1 dot day, okay, it would give me 12 as the output, okay. Let's go to the Visual Studio Code and let's check this out, okay. So let me create a program, struct dot cpp, okay. Now let's say we write the boilerplate code first, okay. So okay, so let's create the structure now, okay. So we'll create the structure in between this, okay. So here in this section we are going to create the structure. So let's write struct, okay. We are going to create date, right? So let's end it with semicolon, okay. Now within this, let's give it the properties, okay. So it has a day, okay, okay. It has a month, okay. It has an year as well, okay. So I have taken month as the integer only, okay. Now let's create the object. To create the object, we create the object within the main function, okay. Object creation, okay. So let's create the object statically. To create the object statically, we'll give the name of the structure or user defined data type. We are going to create user defined data type by using struct, right? So this is user defined data type, date, then give the name of the object. Let's say I give it a name d1. You can name it anything you want, okay, but the naming convention should be should be good, right? You must not leave space this way, okay. There should be one single name, okay, like this. Yeah, so this way also you can create the name. I'm giving it a name d1, okay. So now equal to, I give it no, yeah. So this is how we create the object, okay. Now if I want to give it the value, give the value to d1 date, okay. So d1 dot we use dot operator, dot day is equals to 12, okay, then semicolon. d1 dot month, let's say month is January, so 1, okay. And d1 dot year, let's say I give it a value 2025, okay. Let's say the 2025 is the year, okay. Now if I try to print any of these, okay, why is it giving me error now? uh, yeah, no error, it just shows the glitch. See out, it is just a glitch. So if I try to print anything, let's say I try to print day, okay, then it should print 12 on the screen. Let's see. Yeah, so we are getting 12 on the screen. If I try to print year, okay, it should give me 2025. Yeah, so we are getting 2025. Okay, now we talk about object creation. There are two ways to create an object, okay. You can read about them, you can read about them in the documentation, okay. If you want to go deeper into this, I will just tell you how to create the object, okay. So there are two ways. two ways. Okay, first one is the static allocation, we also call it static memory allocation. Okay, static memory allocation, and another one is dynamic memory allocation. So whenever we create an object, we have to allocate some memory to that object. Okay, so that the memory can be allocated in two ways, either in the form of static memory allocation or in the form of dynamic memory allocation. Okay, I already told you how to create the object statically. Okay, how do we create the object statically? We just write the name of the object, and then we give it a we just give the name of the user defined data type, and then we give it a name to the object. Okay, d1, and this way. Now to create the object dynamically, the syntax goes this way. Okay, syntax, we'll create a pointer of that particular structure. Okay, so date, to create a pointer we must put a star here, and then we will put d1. Okay, equals to, we'll give the assignment operator, and then equals to new. This new returns address of the object that is being created to d1, and then we can access the properties like day, month, and year. Okay, new date. Okay, new, then the name of the user defined data type, and then parenthesis, and then put a semicolon. Okay, so this is the way how we create dynamically. Okay, how we create the object dynamically. Let's create the object, okay, dynamically as well. So let's comment this. Okay, creating an object dynamically. Okay, yeah, so let's say we create another object d2. Okay, okay, I told you that it is going to be a pointer. d2 is equals to new date. Okay, and then yeah, this way. So this object is created. Now let's give it a value. Okay, d2 dot day is equals to, let's say I give it a date 14. Okay, in this case I forgot to tell you one thing. Now to access the properties, now d1 has day, date, day, then it has month. Okay, month, and then it has year. Okay, year. So to access these things, in the case of static allocation, what we used to do, we used to use we used dot operator. Okay, dot operator, right? But in the case of dynamic memory allocation, we are going to use arrow operator. Okay, arrow operator. Okay, how do we use it? So first you will write the object name. Object name is d1, then arrow, and then any of the properties that you want to access. So I want to access day, so day. Okay, even if you want to assign, so to assign the value, we write this way: d1 arrow operator day equals to, let's say, 12. Okay, let's test this in the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I put a dot here, so I must replace it. Okay, yeah, so now it won't give me any error. Okay, so same way for month. Okay, month equals to, let's say, third. Okay, so it is March. Let's say third month is March only, right? d2 then again year equals to, let's say, 2023. Okay, let's say now I try to print this. Okay, to print this also we'll have to write the same way. Okay, so d2 dot year. Okay, so this will help us. Sorry, not dot operator, I told you already that we are going to use arrow operator, right? Year. Okay, yeah, so if we try to print this now, yeah, so it prints 2023. So we assign the value 2023 here. Let's say we change this value 1999, we convert it into. Okay, so yeah, so now it gives 1999 as the output. So yeah, this was all about the structure. Okay, now you got to know about static and dynamic memory allocation as well. Okay, you can read about how the memory, okay, how they are stored in the memory. Okay, there are two types of memory that are used here: heap memory in the case of dynamic memory allocation, and stack memory in the case of static memory allocation. Even stack memory is also used in the case of dynamic memory allocation. Okay, stack memory is also used in the case of dynamic memory allocation. You can read about this. Okay, types of memories and all. I'll just end the lecture here. Hope to see you in the next lecture.